Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 139 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim Big Amish Van Stratton, joined by Rodney Newpol, the legend. How are you, Rodney? Happy Tuesday.
Good, man. I'm a little thrown off. It's spring break week here, so I don't even know what day of the week it is and stuff like that. I knew we had a show, and then I lost track of time, and then forgot it was a Tuesday. And anyways, here I am. I'm good. I'm good, then. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad that you made it to the show tonight. Last Thursday was kind of a last minute cancellation. You decided to go to opening day. A win for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
An exciting win, a little come from behind action. I'm sure you've been very high on the Cardinals since then. They're winning tonight. And that's going well so far.
Yeah, they're winning tonight. They're 3-0 going to the ninth against the Mets. Get a chance to win a series tomorrow. Anytime you can win a series is nice. And beating the Rays 2 out of 3. I don't know if I'm high on them. I mean, they give up 51 hits in the first 4 games. I think if you can compete to win series, though, I guess that's what you're wanting. So winning the first series and having a chance to win series 2, 3-3 homestands not the worst thing that could happen. So we'll see.
No, definitely not. And by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to hockey guy Dan. It's been a while since Dan chimed in. Glad that he is hanging out with us on this Tuesday night here. Normally he was like a Friday morning contributor.
Yeah.
Now we get Dan in the evenings. We're obviously going to get to a lot of college hoops, some baseball talk here over the show. This sort of slipped through the cracks a little bit in our group chat here with Vegas, the Golden Knights, who, despite only, I'm pretty sure the Golden Knights have never missed the playoffs, or maybe they've missed it one time in their entire franchise history, and yet they've cycled through about 4 or 5 coaches now. They are a ridiculous franchise that has no tolerance for anything other than dominance. And with 8 games left, they fired Bruce Cassidy, the same coach that won them a Stanley Cup a couple years ago, and hired who else but John Tortorella, who just seems to find a way to come back all the time. Tortorella, who is only hired on an interim basis for the rest of this season and postseason, and that's it. They're a strange team, man. They're a weird franchise in so many ways. And I thought I was punked. I thought it was a fake Golden Knights account that tweeted it. Just a weird story. I'm sure you saw it a couple days ago. What was your immediate reaction here?
Yeah, it was a little surprising. I mean, Vegas 7th in the West. You mentioned it. They don't tolerate that. That's not good enough to just make the playoff. Now they aren't that far behind. They're 5 points behind your Ducks, so they still have a chance to win the division. But they've been bad.
They've been bad though for a couple months. They've been playing really, really poor. There was a stat I mentioned a few weeks back where they had no wins against any team that was currently occupying a playoff spot for a 4-month stretch.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. No. So they haven't been playing at a high level. So I get it from that sense why they would want to change. And Bruce Cassidy is one of those coaches that's kind of a hard ass. He has a short shelf life, but to replace him, A, with 8 games left in the season, and B, with John Tortorella of all people, bizarre. It was just a bizarre move there. I don't think Vegas is a team that anyone should be threatened by in the postseason. If the Ducks end up facing them, I think the Ducks are favorites. I'd be much more afraid of Edmonton or hell, even Utah than Vegas at this point.
Yeah, no, they don't seem to be connecting well together. But I feel like Bruce Cassidy's been through several jobs too. Like he's kind of been the hard luck guy at a couple different places, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like he and Torts are similar in the sense where they go to a play, like they're very disciplined, my way or the highway type of coaches. It works for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
they sort of wear out their welcome. I mean, there's a reason that John Tortorella is on what his is this his sixth team as a head coach now? I mean, I can't even
So,
keep track. He's been a lot of places. Bruce Cassidy's been several places. Like that's just sort of the MO with these guys. But normally, like when you fire a disciplinarian, you replace him with a players coach. And then with the players coach,
right.
then you bring in the disciplinarian. They went disciplinarian and fired him and then replaced him with the king of all disciplinarians. Like that's the interesting part here. And like like if Vegas is one and done in the postseason, like John Tortorella literally will be the head coach for like 12 games, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It's so weird, so weird.
It is weird. It's weird, but you mentioned that Vegas is a weird organization.
Yes, I'll say. It fits the city. Like that whole town it's a strange place. By the way, congrats getting another Super Bowl 2029. So getting a baseball team, getting another Super Bowl, it's working out well for him in that sense, I guess.
And the latest update is that the NBA might be looking at moving that direction too. So,
oh well, yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, the NBA expansion talks, which it sounds like Seattle and Vegas are the two locations.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I know we're getting sort of sidetracked here now, but like I don't know how well Vegas would like really like I don't know if any NBA expansion team would have a huge dedicated fan base in Vegas. Like right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think the Golden Knights arriving when they did, like they were the first team. It wasn't a big hockey market there, is it? So like a lot of people were really just sort of getting into hockey for the first time. I feel like a lot of people in Vegas sort of already have a team, whether it's the Lakers or the Warriors or whoever else, the Nuggets. Like I don't think they're just going to be like, oh, sweet, there's a team here. I'm just like, it seems like it's going to be one of those places that attracts a lot of visiting fans, and it doesn't have the same sort of diehard fan base that the Knights do.
Yeah, they'll. I think they'll draw well for a while. And you're right. You'll get a bunch of outsiders. They won't. But you're right. They won't have a big, local fan base. But I think they'll draw well. People love basketball in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean they got Summer League there. They have the NBA Cup. They think it's worthy for the NBA Cup. So, it's got to be good.
Yeah,
got to be good for something there. Dan's saying if they bring back the Supersonics, should they reacquire the history from OKC? I believe that is the idea. Yes, I think that the expansion team in Seattle would get all of the Supersonics history. I think I saw that. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's fair. I don't associate anything with the Supersonics history with the Thunder. I think the Thunder now have been around long enough. I think that they've had enough success in their own right. They've had Hall of Fame players. They've had a championship, multiple finals appearances. Like I think that the Thunder can be a separate thing. I'm good with that. All right, let's talk Final Four. We started at 68 teams. We're down to 4 teams. This is always the point where I think, I had buddies this weekend that were totally forgot the NCAA tournament was still happening, just because it's like after those 4 days, just like it's a frenzy and then it stops. And then you sort of have to like get reminded that it's back on. But here we are now with a Final Four that has 2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, a 3 seed. Not necessarily as chalky as what we saw last year with the 4 1 seeds, but I mean, this is still a really, really strong group. What are your initial impressions here? We'll start with Illinois, UConn, and then we can move on to Michigan, Arizona here. But obviously you're the college hoops guy. So initial impressions of just the quality of these games, the quality of these teams, and sort of what your excitement level is for Saturday.
Yeah, we have 4 of the best teams. I mean, we do. Like maybe not the top 4. But Illinois should have been a 2 seed all the way up until kind of the last couple of weeks when they just couldn't hold on to a couple games. I mean, they're a top 8 team in my mind.
Yeah.
and if not, a top 10. So we have 4 top 10 teams here because UConn was right there all along too. They were fighting for a number 1 throughout most of the, from February into March. That Duke UConn game, man, just a tremendous basketball game. Illinois' game against Iowa may not have been as exciting, but was, fun Midwest battle there where it was somewhat competitive. Michigan just looks like Michigan and Arizona both look like they're steamrolling everybody, and they play each other.
Yeah,
that's a national championship game. I would guess that. I would say that's a national championship game. Now, would I be surprised if UConn or Illinois found a way to win on a single night and on a Monday to beat one of those teams? No, it would not surprise me. I guess it would not shock me. It would probably surprise me, not shock me. All 4 of these teams can win a national championship. I'll still stick with Arizona beating UConn in the championship.
Yeah, that UConn game, man. Yes, Duke absolutely unequivocally blew that game. They choked. That is GCD of the quarter type of stuff from Duke. It's Q1. It's still Q1, right? So like the GCD of Q1, I think Duke is the winner of that one. But boy, like how UConn with all of the the turnovers stuff, like Dan Hurley has to be the best coach in all of college basketball. I think we can't debate this anymore, right? We can't debate it.
I mean, he just keeps finding ways to win. Again, that was a big time choke on the Duke part, but he did find ways to win. Finds, if he gets past the first weekend, he's almost unbeatable. He's almost unbeatable. They got beat in the second round last year, but once he's gotten past that, he just rolls. And we'll see. Yeah. Like I said, that it wouldn't surprise me if UConn cut down the Nets for the 3rd time in 4 years.
So I'm just looking at sort of the level of dominance that these teams have had. So you mentioned Michigan rolling through the tournament. So Michigan in 4 games, they beat Howard by 21. They beat St. Louis by 23. Yeah. They beat Alabama by 13. And then they beat Tennessee in the Elite 8 by 33 points. Like they've gotten better as the tournament's gone on here. I said after the during the second or first weekend, like in hindsight, had I watched more college basketball, I think I would have taken Michigan to win the national championship, just like by the way they look here. But you've picked Arizona. Arizona was were they the overall Duke was the number 1 overall seed, right?
Duke was number 1 overall, yes.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people were picking Arizona, so they won their matchups by 44, by 12, by 21, and then against Purdue by 15. So, yeah. And it's funny because Arizona, they've had a couple games where it's like started off a little slow, and then they just explode. And then it's like, oh, these games are over. And yeah, they've probably played the least interesting game so far because they're all total blowouts in the second half, totally non-competitive.
We probably should have seen this coming from Duke. I mean, their first round game against Siena was scary. I mean, their game against TCU was fairly competitive. Their game against St. John's was fairly competitive. And now we've got the teams that are in, all 4 of Illinois' wins were double digits. All 4 of Michigan's wins were double digits. All 4 of Arizona's wins are double digits. And then UConn. So, we probably should have seen this coming.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that after the opening game for Duke, where we went back, looked at every single national champion, and every single one, assuming they were a top 1, 2, or 3 seed, like every single one pounded their opponent in their first round matchup. Like especially the 1 seeds. Like 1 seeds, I think at minimum were beating these 16 seeds by 15 plus. At minimum.
Yeah.
Every single time. There was not a single champion that struggled in their opening round game. I think that the closest one that we saw was UConn, the year where UConn won as like a 5 seed, 7 seed, one of those classic UConn years early in the 2010s. Like that was it. Yeah. If you're a 1 seed, you're supposed to go in there, you're supposed to smoke these schools and really not face any sort of challenges or pushback until Sweet 16 at minimum. And you're right. Every single round, Duke was on the ropes. Every single round they were playing with fire. And then when it finally looked like they got past that, UConn happened. So it's like, yeah, of course it was surprising. It was a huge choke job, but when you consider what Duke was doing all up until there, where you consider who their opponent is, the coaching mismatch, yeah, like of all of the games for that to happen, this was it for sure.
Yeah, and it's a bad look for John Shire back to back, and really even 3 straight years where they should have won a game. Last year was Houston. They had a big lead in that one, and the Cougs came back in the Final Four. Bad luck. He's got all the talent. He keeps getting all the talent, but they can't quite put it together. I mean, a lot of schools would take Duke's success, getting to a Final Four, getting to Elite Eight, things like that. But when you're Duke, like that's not enough. Like it's not enough when you're a Duke fan. You need more. And, UConn, I guess, is really the big blue blood still alive because like Illinois, Michigan are not, they're not known as power blue bloods. So UConn, I guess, is the winning blue blood this year.
Just we need to start doing the Skeeter advice of just when in doubt, take UConn. Just assume that they're gonna make a run. More often than not, you're right. So this Illinois UConn game there. So it's probably not fair to reference that Illinois UConn game from, was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
They did 2 years ago.
They did. Yeah. They did play this season, though. They did play earlier this season, and UConn won by 13. But the one you're referencing, the 30-0 run, was 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yes, where Illinois could not stop the bleeding in the Elite Eight game, and that was held in Boston. So you could kind of argue that UConn had the home court advantage. Make no doubt about it. Illinois will have a home court advantage on Saturday.
Yeah, and also that particular UConn team 2 years ago was the defending champion.
Very good.
Like that was a hard team for them to beat. So was it funny? Absolutely, but yeah, we can't really compare that. Are you surprised at all that Illinois is a 1.5 favorite here? Is it just maybe they're factoring in the location? I mean, I know Illinois is going to have a crowd, but like UConn will travel too.
They will, but I think you're going to see a large orange and blue crowd. I'm not surprised that Illinois' favorite. They played very well. They played very, very well recently, and like this is a team that a lot of people thought, mid-season was going to be here. So no, I'm not surprised by the favorite. I think you still got to take UConn though, right? Like you got to take the team in the program that's been there, done that. If you're going to give them a 1.5.
So is there anything we can deduce from the fact that the total is almost 20 points lower than the Michigan-Arizona game right after it? I mean, they set the total at 139.5. They're expecting a low-scoring defense-first game. And, obviously Illinois had a couple of those over the weekend. Was it that first half against Houston that was like 24-21 at halftime? Was insane. So is the total being that low an indication that they're expecting Illinois to control the pace, play a little slower? Is it more on UConn? Sort of what's the read there? Because it's much lower than Michigan, Arizona.
Yeah, but Michigan, Arizona are two just absolute dynamite offensive teams. Illinois played very well defensively. Here recently, and I think that obviously comes into play the way they've guarded, and their length is going to cause problems for UConn to be able to score in the paint. 20 points is a lot different, but I think it really more what it sounds is that offensive game in game 2. I think you're going to see both teams in the 80s. Winner may score 85 points in that game, and it would not surprise me.
Michigan is a 1.5 favorite there. So Arizona, who lost 2 games all season, who you picked to win the national championship, is an underdog going into the Final Four. Maybe surprising. I really don't know how that game's going to go. I don't really have a strong feeling about that one. Like maybe because, I've been so impressed with Michigan But like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how that's gonna fare here.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona's lost 2 games, and it's been a combined 7 total points, and
Yeah,
I mean, they've been tremendous. They lost back-to-back games. They lost at Fall Gala in Kansas, okay, and then the other one's Iowa State, right? Like,
yeah,
they've basically been perfect. They've basically been unbeatable, and Purdue had them as close to the ropes as you could get at halftime. Purdue had a 7-point lead on them, but boy, they flipped that switch so fast and just buried the Boilermakers. And that's a very experienced Purdue team. I mean, Purdue had all sorts of experience, was played really well, and just made them look silly in the second half. I'm taking Arizona. I mean, mostly because that's who I've stuck with all the way through. But God, Michigan's really good. I mean, what we've seen out of Michigan and what they did to Tennessee. I mean, they embarrassed Tennessee. Side note: 3rd straight year Tennessee's lost in the Elite Eight. I mean, you sign up for that if you're a Volunteers fan because you're relevant. But God, that's tough. That's tough to lose 3 straight to not get to the Final Four.
Yeah. I mean, they got their as a 6 seed this year. It's not like they were a 1 or a 2 seed that was expected to make it that far in the first place. I mean, I'm sure that there were plenty of brackets that had them losing in the opening round. So it just it's a successful season in that regard. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, that's a tough one for sure. All right,
that's
so
tough. Yeah, I mean, right on the verge each year. Go ahead.
Yeah. So now that we have 4 teams left, we can look at this tournament here. Overall, and you could base this off of who the Final Four is, who, any upset. Basically, your metrics that you personally use for determining, yes, this was a very good NCAA tournament, or this tournament was lacking. Like, will you look back on 2026 and say, yes, this was a good tournament, or this wasn't that great of a tournament?
I mean, I think it's been a great tournament. I think your single reasoning could be you had a moment in the Duke UConn game that probably could either be right up there or higher than the Christian Laettner shot. I mean, all the time in college basketball, we see and we hear about the Christian Laettner shot. Okay, great. That happened in 1992, and arguably this one is just as good or better. And so you can look back on it. You had the buzzer beaters. You've had a few upsets. Now you don't have a Cinderella, but I'm sorry, but Cinderella's kind of dead.
It's dead now.
Right?
It's dead now. Like, so just going through here. So like, second round, memorable games. I loved the Vanderbilt Nebraska game. That one was an all timer. Iowa upsetting Florida. That was a great one. Unfortunately, your Jayhawks were on the losing end of one of those buzzer beaters as well against St. John's, but that was a very exciting game. Sweet 16, you had Purdue's buzzer beater against Texas. You had Iowa Nebraska was also a really good one. UConn Michigan State was a really fun game. And
Tennessee
then obviously Elite Eight.
Iowa State. Yeah.
Yep, Tennessee upsetting Iowa State for sure. And then Elite Eight, like, the Elite Eight was probably overall the weakest round in terms of just like nail biters. Thank God for Duke UConn. Because if Duke pulls away, then we're looking at Elite Eight where all 4 of those are like double digits, not really competitive. But Duke UConn absolutely saved the Elite Eight. So yeah, like every single round had at least one just like absolutely classic, memorable game, whether it was a buzzer beater, whether it was just a moment. Like, so yeah, and I'm hoping that the Final Four will get at least one of these 2 games will be down to the wire. Would be awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, we were this close to that Duke UConn game being a snoozer because Duke got way up, and if they just could have found any closure at all, obviously we wouldn't have had that situation. But yeah, no, I think you're right there. But I mean, I think it's been a fun tournament. Dan mentions TCU, North Carolina in the first round was electric. Watching that at a bar where half the crowd hated North Carolina was incredible. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that did any
or it was was it TCU or VCU? I think it was VCU, right?
VCU,
yeah, it was VCU against North Carolina. Went to overtime. Yeah, that was a great game.
And a little bit of a regional rivalry there. I mean, you got Virginia and North Carolina not far from each other. It's kind of the little guy against the blue blood, right? I mean, it's not necessarily a Bradley, Illinois type situation, but it's a Bradley, Iowa type situation.
Yeah.
If it was it's a mid-major VCU against the power in North Carolina. So yeah, that was a great one as well.
No, so real quick before we move on to baseball here. So update us on the latest coaching news in college basketball. There was a flurry of big openings here. So Hubert Davis is gone, right?
Yeah.
And UNC, yeah, do we have a name or two floating around there for North Carolina? I mean, that's obviously a huge job.
I think North Carolina wants Tommy Lloyd from Arizona. And I honestly, in all of my thinking, I think Tommy Lloyd wants to go to North Carolina. But Tommy Lloyd also wants to focus on winning a national championship with the Wildcats. And I don't blame him. And that's where the situation here, and that's why North Carolina has been a little quiet. Tommy Lloyd has not come out and said he doesn't want North Carolina. Tommy Lloyd hasn't come out and said he wants North Carolina. His words have kind of indicated that you could see him going to North Carolina as early as next Tuesday. I could see it, which will then open up a lot of other jobs because Arizona comes open. That's a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hire a head coach that is somewhere. So that job's going to come open. Bill Self's name's still out there. There's been conflicting reports on Bill Self at Kansas. Does he want to come back? There's thoughts that he may force Kansas's hand into hiring Jock Vaughn, doing it right at the portal openings. The transfer portal's opening. We got to hire a coach, Jock Vaughn, keep the roster. I don't know how much of that's true. I wouldn't surprise me. But what if Kansas comes open?
Yeah. I feel like would it have happened by now if Bill Self was retiring or leaving or whatever? Like, would it have happened by now? It's been a couple weeks.
Not if he wants to fork Jock Vaughn into that job because they want to do it right at the portal opening. But I think Josh Schertz at St. Louis, I know he signed the contract to extend it with the Billikens. That doesn't mean anything. He just went and interviewed at North Carolina State on Saturday. But I think if Kansas comes open, Josh Schertz might be a name there. He could still be a fallout option at North Carolina. I don't know. It's really intriguing. I think they said 43 jobs have come open, so there's going to be more too. So it's been.
Can you imagine, like, it's every other sport when there's an opening? The candidates are always assistants. They're not other head coaches. Like, it's like, oh, the Yankees fire Aaron Boone. And okay, then they're going to go and they're going to hire like coaches that are out of work, or they're going to like poach another team's assistant. They're not going to be like, hey, we're just going to take AJ Hinch from the Tigers or Dave Roberts from the Dodgers. But in college, it's just like, oh, the North Carolina job opens up. So the Arizona head coach, who's in the Final Four, who has a much better program than North Carolina is at this moment, is just going to leave to go to UNC. It's wild, man. I still can't get over like how college coaching carousels operate when you compare it to all other coaching industries within sports. It's its own breed, man. It's wild.
Yeah, it is. It is wild that they just take guys. But that's for basketball and college football right there.
Yep. All right. Moving on here. Major League Baseball. We're about halfway through the show or so. First of all, happy opening week, I guess. Is it still opening week? Because we're within 7 days, even though, I don't know. But a lot of teams have played. Every team's played several games already. It's still far too early to officially know whether teams are actually good or bad. Well, actually, that's not true. I can tell you the White Sox are bad.
Bad. Rockies, bad.
Rockies are bad. Yeah, even though, do you know the Colorado Rockies, who are 1-4, okay, have a +2 run differential?
Yeah, well. Good for them. They're still bad.
No, they are. Yeah, the White Sox have a minus 21 run differential through 5 games. That's bad. Uh, the Chicago Cubs, who you picked to win the division, started the season 2-3. They have a plus 2 run differential. The Milwaukee Brewers, who you said will come crashing down to earth, are 4-1 with a plus 22 run differential. Now the Brewers have also opened up the year against like the White Sox and the Rays at home. So, they've had a little bit easier of go of things. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about the Cardinals. Cardinals did win tonight, 3-0. Yes. So that brings their record to 3-2. And this is fitting. They are a perfect 27 runs scored, 27 runs allowed. I think that's very fitting for the St. Louis Cardinals at this point in the season.
I think a 500 team. I think a 500 team and Ollie Marmol gets a raise, right? Like, look at that roster, and they should not. They should not finish 500.
No, and credit to. The Rays aren't total slouches. The Mets certainly don't expect to be slouches. Cardinals. It's been nice that they've been able to start the year at home, which has helped them for sure. But yeah, you shut out a Mets lineup that. God, look at the names that they put into that lineup this year. And then shut them out. What was the final score yesterday too? I know the Cardinals lost, but it was another low scoring game, right?
Yeah, they've handled their own. They've been competitive in every game, and I think again, as a fan, that's what you can ask. They let it snowball a little bit on Sunday against Tampa Bay. They gave up 11 runs in that one. Bullpen's terrible. Cardinals bullpen's absolutely miserable. They were good tonight. Andre Palante went 5, and the bullpen got the last 12 outs. So you can ask there. But yesterday was 4-2. Their wins over the Rays were 9-7, 6-5. Yeah, they're going for a series win tomorrow. They should have Liberatore on the mound, which according to them is their ace. Liberatore and Freddie Peralta. Now let's get back to the Cubs real quick. A 2-0 shutout to the Angels tonight's not a very good look.
Cubs have been incredibly streaky all season. So the Cubs opened up the season. They lost 4-10 to Washington. They then turned around and beat Washington 10-2 for then losing 6-3. Then they come out the next day, beating the Angels 7-2, and then losing 2-0. So it's very inconsistent, which honestly, you look at the guys in their lineup, that's a bunch of inconsistent guys. It's a bunch of guys who are just kind of go through peaks and valleys. Like Pete Crow Armstrong, I know everyone loves him and he just got his huge contract, but PCA is incredibly streaky. Ian Happ for his whole career has been incredibly streaky. Michael Bush and Dansby Swanson, all those guys, they're all incredibly streaky hitters. So I think that's just going to be kind of the theme of the Cubs this year, where they're going to have stretches where they look like they're totally dominant. And then there's going to be stretches where it's my God, they look like a 3rd or 4th place team in the division. And yeah, Bregman hasn't hit well to start. PCA's OPS is less than 600 this early in the year. It's not great. So yeah, I think that's just going to be the theme for them, honestly.
Yeah, I guess if you look at the Cubs starting at home and going 3-3 against the Nationals and Angels, or 2-4. That's not a very good start for the Cubs. It's not a great start.
No, yeah, that's a good point too. That is an incredibly favorable stretch of the start to the season to get those two teams at home. You got to be minimum 4-2 out of that stretch, and they're going to be 3-3 at absolute best.
They go to Cleveland. They go to Cleveland and Tampa now for the next 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just looking at other teams, the Texas Rangers, they lost opening day, but since then they've won 4 in a row. Maybe we were a year off on the Rangers. I know we were kind of high on them last year. Not only are they 4-1, but they've started on the road the year against Philadelphia and then against Baltimore. So that's a pretty tough start for them. And then to go 4-1 is really, really solid. Obviously, the Dodgers have been interesting, man. I don't know. Have you paid attention to how the Dodgers are winning these baseball games?
Well, I know that the rest of the NL West has not been very good to start, but the Dodgers have been pretty low scoring, right? 5-4 Tampa, 3 or Arizona, 3-2 Arizona, lost 4-2 to the Guardians. They're not scoring a bunch.
No, they're not scoring a bunch. And so all 3 of those Arizona games, they trailed by 2 runs early on. Like they put themselves down 2-0 in every single game. They came back late on Friday, and then Saturday, I think it was Will Smith that hit a go-ahead home run for them in the 8th inning. So like, yeah, very low scoring, super quiet offense. They've been down in every single game so far. Yeah, against Cleveland yesterday, they were down 4-0, and they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, but it was too little too late. Yeah, all 4 of their games, they're just like not hitting at all until late in the game. Ohtani's only hitting $167. Tucker's only hitting 200. Betts is hitting 200. Hernandez is 143. Freeman 188. I mean, like these guys will all turn it around, but it's not screaming super team yet. Not yet.
No. But they're still going to find their way to 100 wins.
Yeah, which is annoying. But yes, you're right. Yeah, and like it helps that their division just looks so dreadful, where San Francisco, San Diego, Arizona, Colorado are all just at 1 win right now. D-backs are losing 5-0 to Detroit. Giants and Padres are playing each other. The Giants are up 4-0 on San Diego, so could win that series. But yeah, these are, I mean, God, the Giants have doubled their win total tonight. Like for the whole season, they've scored 4 runs tonight. They've doubled their season win run total. So Dodgers are going to have a cakewalk. It looks like. Toronto 4-1. Yeah. So any other baseball thoughts that you've had early on? I know we're super, super early in the season. Oh, I got one.
I mean, your Yankees have been pretty decent.
I mean, the series against San Francisco was very encouraging. Pitching was great. Not to mention San Francisco seems like they're not very good, but yeah, pitching was solid. Right. Lost to Seattle last night on a walk-off, but they're up 2-0 tonight. So yeah, like I've been very impressed with the pitching. I think the hitting, like a couple guys have been okay. Like Stanton's been super hot, but like other than him, I think a lot of guys are still trying to get going. Yeah, I mean listen, they're at San Francisco, at Seattle. They're another one of those teams that they started them out west. It's not the easiest place to start the year, but they're making the most of it, and then they come home to get. I think it's who do they host this week? I think it's like interleague, right? Who do they host this weekend? It's Marlins. Yeah, Marlins. So they're home. Their home openers against the Marlins this weekend for a 3-game series. So I think it's a pretty decent start there. Obviously, need all the wins you can in that division. It's going to be a very tough division. Boston's in last right now, but I don't think that's gonna stay the case for very long. But no, what I was going to say before is that I regret ever having anything bad to say about ABS. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I do. I seriously, man, I love it so much. I can't wait to hear your thoughts here. But and you probably were there any challenges at the game you were at, like so you could see it on the big screen?
Yes, I think 2. Yes. So yeah, so I was skipping out there for a second. So maybe we don't care about the feelings of umpires. I get that. And I get they need to do their job right. But
yeah,
like they're under big time attack right now. They're under attack.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're under attack for sure. And honestly, and I know you're not necessarily thinking about this, but I'm kind of still in the youth sports era where I'm kind of involved with getting umpires and doing some of that. It's going to trickle down. It's going to trickle down. You're going to see a 10-year-old going like this. You're going to see high school kids going like this. Yeah. And I mean, I get we want to get it right, and I do like it for Major League Baseball, and it's quick, and that's what I like. Boom, it's on there. Boom, right or wrong. But man, it's a little messy. But in theory, yes, I do like what's going on.
Twins already mathematically eliminated from playoff contention from Dan. Yeah,
not very good.
No, and listen, you bring up such a good point about like that. I didn't even really think about. You're right about like it trickling down, and them implementing it at lower levels, but just like also batters like expecting it. Yeah, it's do like junior high school kids playing basketball whenever there's a questionable out of bounds play, do any of them ever sort of without thinking, do they do that? Do they do that? Like, even though like they're playing at Morton Junior High School and there ain't no instant replay available?
That's a good, no, I know. So maybe not, but yeah, and I don't feel bad for like CB Buckner, but like, at some point, you do start to maybe feel a little bit bad for the human side of this guy stinking at his job so bad that he misses 6 straight challenges. Like that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah,
that's not good.
This is probably going to eventually end up in some type of like umpire, like walk off, right? Like, do you like, you know, their union is so strong. It's not like they just fire. Like if they could, Angel Hernandez would have been fired after his second year on the job. But like, you know, CB Buckner, every single time he's behind home plate, is just getting all of his mistakes flashed up on the big screen, a roaring crowd. You have teams, you know, last night, the Yankees overturned 5 ball strike calls, and like their dugout is chirping at the home plate umpire to basically be like, what the hell, man? Like, how do you keep getting all of these wrong? Where we got to keep challenging you on this? Like, eventually, I think the older umpires who had years and years of doing this job without these checks in place are just going to be like, I don't need this anymore. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
this isn't worth it. And then you're going to have younger umpires who you know are eager for the opportunity, but they're coming into this world knowing now like this is what's going to happen. You were under this microscope. It's ultimately it's good for the game. Like, we're seeing how many bad ball strike calls there are and that there would be without these in place. But yeah, like the human element is the one thing that I think we need to sort of navigate around.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's literally like 5 seconds. Like, you go like this, you look up on the screen, boom, cut and dry.
Yeah.
Looks like a strike. And some of them are just nipping the corner. And it's interesting because over spring break, we bought the show 2026 on my son's Nintendo Switch. And him and I have been playing a little bit. It's got the challenge. And like, if you got just a sliver of that ball hit the zone, it's a strike.
Yeah.
It's
do we like that?
You can challenge.
Do we like if the ball is within an ass hair of the strike zone and it's a strike? Do we like it? Are we good with that, or do we feel like it needs to be a little bit more in the strikes? Like, I guess it's the rule, you know, and it's the beauty of pitchers being able to sort of paint the corners and go around the edges and stuff like that. But like when it shows on the replay and it's like the absolute bare minimum, just like brushing up against the side of the strike zone and it's a strike, I'm like, it's hard to blame the umps for those, right? Like
two dudes would have been under 500 in their career with ABS, and one of them's name is Greg Maddux, and the other one's name is Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah,
because there would have been so many ball 4, right? Like, they got all the call. Anyways,
that's a Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux only threw strikes. He knew exactly where he was putting those things. Yeah. Dan says he umpired Little League for 8 years. If a kid at the level did an ABS challenge single, it's a quick hook. Yeah, like, yeah. But if you're a Little League ump and some kid does that, taps the helmet, be like, how you doing, kid? Get out of here. Just go sit down. All right, real quick. We don't have best bets for betting tonight. We were off Thursday. So we'll have a new batch this Thursday for you for the weekend. But want to do a quick look here at the NBA and NHL playoff pictures. We can start in the NBA here. Rodney's Charlotte Hornets demolished the Brooklyn Nets 117-86 tonight. So that was a huge win for them. Other games with playoff implications: Orlando beat Phoenix by 4 points. Detroit beat Toronto. Houston beat the Knicks. Cavs and Lakers are going on right now. So as things stand today, we'll start in the East. Charlotte is tied with Miami at 40 and 36. So as of today, they would be the 9 versus 10 game. Then you have Orlando and Philadelphia. I mean, they're all sort of so close to each other in the play-in. Top 6, Detroit's up by 4.5 on Boston. Then the Knicks are the 3 seed. Cleveland's hanging on to that 4 seed. Atlanta's the 5. Toronto's the 6. How about the Atlanta Hawks going all the way to the 5th seed?
Yeah.
This is what we thought the Hornets were going to do like a month ago. And turns out it was the Hawks all along who propelled themselves up and are now like in a 4-5 matchup.
Yeah, that's wild. They're going to be underdog in that 4-5 matchup because they're going to take on Cleveland. But yeah, I mean, getting that 5 seed. I mean, yeah, the Pistons are going to be the ones, the 1 seed. There's really no doubt there. I guess there is a question between New York and Cleveland for 3rd and 4th, and then there's a question for Toronto, Atlanta between 5 and 6. And like you said, really, honestly, all the teams, Philly, Orlando, Miami, and Charlotte, could essentially bump into the top 6. Miami and Charlotte are really going to have to get hot and hope everybody else loses. I mean, if you're Charlotte or Miami, your goal is to catch Orlando and get in that 7-8 matchup instead of 9-10.
Yeah. As a Hornets diehard, who's the team that if you are in that 9-10 matchup, who are you hoping you face in the East?
Probably Orlando. Orlando. I don't think I want to take on Spoelstra, although they've lost before. But
the Heat are very used to these play-in games, though. This is their comfort zone. That's the problem.
Probably Orlando. Probably Orlando. I don't think I want to see Philly. Philly just beat Charlotte the other night. I think it's Orlando.
All right, now in the Western Conference, OKC is clinging on to a 2.5 game lead over the Spurs. Spurs have won 9 in a row. I mean, God, they're going to be well over 60 wins. An incredible turnaround for them. Lakers officially clinched a playoff spot tonight, but they're still trying to figure out where they're going to be seated. If they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, the 3 seed is probably going to be where they end up, which is I think a pretty good outcome for them. Then you have Denver at the 4, Minnesota at the 5, Houston at the 6, but Minnesota and Houston are tied right now, so that could easily flip-flop over the next couple weeks. Then in the play-in round, Portland and Golden State are in that 9-10 matchup. They are locked into those play-in berths, so they will be in the play-in no matter what. And then Phoenix and the Clippers are the 7-8 seeds right now. So honestly, I feel like the West has had this exact same order for about 6 weeks.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, if you're as a Lakers fan, if they finish as the 3, who do you want as the 6?
Oh, Houston.
Yeah.
I have too many bad memories against Denver. One, obviously, Nikola Jokic, best player in the world still for my money. And 2, Jamal Murray just seems to, whenever he plays the Lakers, become the prime Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Jesus Christ hybrid on a basketball court. So I don't want anything to do with that. And then Minnesota is another team that I think just would give the Lakers a really tough time. So, yeah, I think Houston, like the Lakers just match up super well with Houston. I think Houston just – their roster construction, I think, is a bit flawed. They don't have any true guards. They are not able to stop Luka Doncic. I just think the Lakers would be pretty substantial favorites against them in that series. So I'm hoping that Houston ends up staying at that 6. And then you have Minnesota, Denver, which, my God, Minnesota, Denver in the first round is an absolute juggernaut of an opening round series. And a shame that like one of those teams, honestly, is going to be eliminated if that's the case. But boy, that's probably the best first round series in the sport if that's what we get.
I would guess. Yeah, that's better than anything in the East. Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh yeah. I can't even think of anything else that would come close to it. To be honest with you, so yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, all right. And then real quick, NHL, the NHL playoff picture is it's so funny, man. Like
Yeah, weird.
see are you part of the discourse at all of like all of these fan bases that are talking about, my team has won more games than like the Detroit Red Wings are 39-27-8, right? Okay, so they've had 3 more wins than losses. Sorry, 4 more wins than losses, and they're out of the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Totally out of the playoff picture. Where the Columbus Blue Jackets are 38-25-12, meaning they've had 4 more losses than wins, and they are in the playoffs. That's just one of the examples. And
Yeah.
I just it's funny. It's funny to just see like all these fan bases. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins are basically the equivalent of 38-37, and they are in second place. So
yeah, it is different. And Detroit must have really taken a fall, because I thought when we did this last time, Detroit was looking good. And I'm looking at Detroit's month of March. They literally have lost.
Yeah.
I mean, they're about 5-10 this month. That's not great. They have 8 games left to get going there. But yeah, I mean, it's Carolina and Buffalo at the top for the top seed. Tampa's there. I mean, for my money, it's probably Tampa winning the East, right? Until one of the South Florida teams doesn't get it done. Tampa or Florida are my picks, and Florida's not going to be there. So I'm taking Tampa.
Yeah. Tampa, that's probably the play, because it's every other team it feels like they lack sort of that playoff experience. Like you can't say, oh yeah, Buffalo's going to be battle tested. Buffalo's had the longest postseason drought in the sport. Montreal, this is their first year really, or second year, I think, out of a rebuild. Islanders, Pittsburgh were all teams that were supposed to be sort of bad that ended up being much better. Columbus is another young team. So yeah, I would say Tampa Bay is definitely my favorite there. In the West, Colorado, they've clinched a playoff spot. Dallas has clinched a playoff spot. I would imagine that Colorado is going to win that division, barring an absolute collapse here down the stretch, which means that we're looking at Dallas against Minnesota in the first round. This is, again, where if this was a 1-8 normal playoff seeding, this is basically the 2 seed against the 3 seed in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. So this is where, if you don't like this playoff format, like it's probably because you're one of these types of teams that's like in this situation where you're getting punished, where like the Minnesota Wild could say, wait a minute. So if we were the 4th place team in our division, we would be facing the Ducks. But because we're the 3rd place team in our division, we're getting punished by facing the Dallas Stars instead.
Yeah. No, it's goofy. I don't love it. I don't love it, to be honest with you. I would rather be 1-8. But it is the hand we're dealt with. But yeah, no, I'm looking at this. My Blues had such an opportunity last night in San Jose. They would have, with a win last night. They would have only been 2 points out. They would have only been 2 points out. They still have a game in hand on Nashville, but man, they lost in San Jose. Now the Blues have the Kings, they have the Ducks, and the Avalanche twice. So that's probably coming to an end for them. But man, they had a chance last night.
Yeah, last night was probably the game where it's like you needed that one to have any sort of hope, because then you could say, all right, you split the next 4 games after that. Maybe you go on a little run down the stretch and you just get lucky. But like, boy, and it's because like San Jose was one of those teams that's directly in front of you.
Yeah,
they're right there.
Oh yeah,
so
they were tied. They were tied coming in last night. Yeah, they would have been. They would have been tied for 10th and only 2 points back of Nashville.
Yeah,
couldn't get it done. 9 games to go for them.
Yeah, like so. I'll say this though, the good thing though about like the NHL's sort of point system and the loser point and all of that stuff, I guess the benefit of it here is that we're sitting here with 8 or 9 games left in the regular season, and you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the West that are all within 4 points of the final playoff spot. In the East, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that are all within 3 points of the final playoff spot. So like it's so close. And like it you get to a point where it's like, NBA, you look at the standings and there's 12 teams that are all eliminated right now.
Yeah.
Like or 10 teams that are all eliminated. Like every team outside the top 10 in the conference is out of the playoffs. NHL, there are exactly 2 teams that are eliminated as of today. Like the Blackhawks technically aren't eliminated. So it's just everyone is that close to a playoff spot, and it does make the regular season feel super important, and where like every single point matters. But if you're in one of those situations where you're Minnesota Wild, you're facing the Dallas Stars instead of the Ducks in the first round, like that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm taking Colorado to win the West.
I would be stunned if they didn't.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned. Yeah, I would be. Yeah, like the Pacific, there's no team in the Pacific that looks like the top 3. Like we talked about, bad Vegas has been. Ducks, obviously, they're not going to make a run in the postseason, but like just getting there, I think, was a win for them. And Edmonton, Draisaitl's out. Their goaltending's bad. It's the same issues that they have every single year. Yeah, like it'll be Dallas, Colorado, second round. Sorry, Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota wins, but like whoever that second round matchup with Colorado and whoever, like that'll be your Western Conference final, in my mind.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah. All right. How about we remember someone here? We're wrapping up the show. The first name that came to my mind, Rodney. Remember Keith Van Horn?
Yeah, big old white guy. Yeah, I do remember Keith Van Horn. He played his college basketball at Utah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a University of Utah guy. Utah Utes for 4 seasons back when guys played college at the same place. Very good college player, and was part of that 1997 NBA draft. Second overall, I believe.
Yeah, second overall, 1997, pick of the Philadelphia 76ers. By the way, went to high school in Diamond Bar, California. That is literally a town over from where I grew up. So,
okay.
I can't quite claim him, but he's close. He's close. Drafted technically by Philadelphia, but I think it was part of a draft day deal because he never played. Well, he did play for Philadelphia later on in his career, but he started his career with the New Jersey Nets, 5 seasons there with New Jersey. Second in Rookie of the Year. Did you know that Keith Van Horn, rookie year, he played 62 games, started all of them, averaged 19.7 points per game as a rookie for the Nets. Second year, averaged 21.8 points per game. So, like, first couple years in the league, you got this big old white boy who's averaging 20 plus points, and was, I think, a very solid role player for his entire career.
Yeah.
I would say the one downside with him is that he only had a couple years where he was really healthy. Early on in his career, and then after that, a lot of he played 72 games, he played 62 games, played 53 games, and he was out of the NBA at 30. Like he only had a 9-year NBA career, which I think was probably maybe the injuries had something to do with that one. But no All-Stars, which is disappointing.
He fell 800 points short of 10,000 in his career, which is a bunch of buckets during that short period of time. 1,000 points each season, basically. He's a good player.
Yeah. 3-time WAC, going back to his college numbers, 3-time WAC Player of the Year, 2-time WAC Tournament MVP, 4-time first team All WAC, all 4 years at Utah. He was All WAC first team. WAC. Yeah, I mean that's one of the all-time WACs for sure.
He was good in the WAC.
Good WAC guy, and also finished his NBA career. Even though it only lasted 9 years, finished with earning $88 million in the NBA. So not bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad career. Retired by 30, $88 million in the bank. Pretty much can do whatever he wants now. But Yeah, I mean, average 16 points per game for his career, 16-7. Like that's pretty damn good, all things considered.
That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. Very, very strong player. Now 50 years old.
Yeah. Feel old.
Yeah. He's not
I
that
think
much older than me, unfortunately.
it hit me how old I was when now I'm watching Carl Crawford's kid in Major League Baseball. Yeah. Carl Crawford retired like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're old.
It's like, am I the only one that has those reactions? Like when I see these players' kids, like I'm sure, like, and I obviously I feel this too, but like, there's got to be some party that's like, oh my God, Matt Holliday has how many kids now in Major League Baseball?
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. Because Matt Holliday doesn't age. He still looks like he's 35.
No, like Matt Holliday was just playing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, no, it is wild. But here we are.
Death is inescapable, folks. On that note, Dan's got a dip. I think all the age talk put him away. So thanks for joining us tonight, Dan, and thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight. Had a fun one. We'll be back on Thursday night. Couple reminders that if you're not doing so already, you can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. And I believe, Rodney, are you still, even though it is a couple days until the Final Four, you and our buddy Aaron have been doing a live Twitter Spaces every weekday, 9 a.m. Breakfast and Brackets is the name.
Yeah, that is 100% right. We'll be back in tomorrow. Now, Aaron is getting pretty busy because Aaron is in Indianapolis. He's covering the NIT. He's covering the NCAA tournament. He's covering everything going on. By the way, shout out to Illinois State Redbirds. Women's Final Four NIT, men's Final Four NIT, and went to the football national championship. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's very good.
But Aaron's hit or miss this week. I will be at 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. Yes.
All right. Perfect. Well, you could catch him then. You can catch us Thursday night, 9 p.m. right here. However you watch us tonight, just do that again a couple nights from now. We'll give our official Final Four picks. We'll have best bets for betting. We'll talk all the latest happenings in the sports world and more. We haven't even talked to, Tiger Woods. He's not. I'm assuming he's not going to play the Masters, right?
No, he's not.
Probably not.
No, he's not.
Probably not. That's a whole thing. We talk about it on Thursday. But until then, he's Rodney Newple. I'm Tim, big Amish fan Stratton. Thanks again to everyone who joined us tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Talk to you next time on the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newple and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.